Good evening, I'm Luka and I made a speech about crossing the cultural border. On a windy morning in Paris, a boy named Adrian sits at the edge of the classroom, alone, shoulders hung forward. Adrian silently stares at the desktop in front of him. This is his first day of school in France, and he's frightened. Further west, a tall young man named Jesus walks through a cloud of faces and heads for an empty classroom, where he kneels next to another Somali-born student for the Muslim prayer. He escaped from a refugee camp in his home country. One day, Adrian walks in a shopping mall on his own. He hasn't got any friends yet, as he's unable to properly communicate with his classmates. He heads to a hot dog stand, where he orders a hot dog. The owner of the stand refuses to give him a hot dog. He talks in French, shouts and laughs at Adrian. Adrian can only understand the words gay and stupide imbécile. These words were shouted to him upon arrival, and have followed him throughout the 2-month stay in France. Adrian is being bullied and harassed just because he looks different and is unable to properly communicate and speak French. The Somali-born student Jesus has been beaten over 8 times since he arrived in London 3 weeks ago. He thought that England would bring new opportunities. Instead, the only thing that it has given him was sorrow, pain, and lots of insecurity about himself. When he once walked past a group of people from his school, they started yelling at him. Jesus ignored it and walked on, until one of the students grabbed him by the throat, threatened him with a knife, and forced him to say that he will go back to his home country. The guy told him that they don't want terrorists here. Jesus doesn't dare to tell the head of the school, as he's afraid to get beaten up again. Every year, thousands of immigrants and refugee students like Adrian and Jesus enter European schools, fled or emigrated from their home country because of war, poverty, criminality, or racism. They come and hope for a better future, and have often got difficulties integrating with the people from their new country. They get left out, and no one seems to care about them. But they don't know what these people have been through, what their story is. We don't care about their stories, their feelings and life. Right? They look and act different, so they are different. But what makes someone different? For that, I looked up the definition of different, which implies the following: not identical or distinctly different. But what differences are there between the foreign-born students and the students from Paris and London? Yes, their skin color is different. And yes, they are new and might not be able to speak the same language. But is that why we define someone as different? They are human too. And they might be interested in the same things as you. You might also have divorced parents, love computers and technology, not to mention sports. He might introduce you to new topics you never thought about and that are worth discussing. And the skills that he or she lacks might be corrected by you, and of course vice versa. The skills that, although being different might not be the total problem, everyone's different. And as I'm speaking, you are sitting next to at least one person that does not look like you at all. But you might be friends with that person, but you won't beat him up, and you won't beat him up. Then why won't we communicate with foreign-born students like we do with our friends and family? Did you ever notice that people tend to criticize people that have a distinct look quicker? For example, we tend to become angrier at Moroccan people that steal something than when Dutch people steal the same thing. I'm not trying to be racist at all, and for those of you who feel discriminated, I'm severely sorry. But prejudicing occurs often, and no one notices it, because wanting to be better than others is in the human nature. Nevertheless, we can still make it more comfortable for immigrating people by talking with them and helping them integrate into society, by breaking down the cultural border that prevents us from having a united, efficient society. Talking about borders, there are many types of borders related to culture: psychological borders, racial borders, sexual borders, as well as geographical borders. The cultural border may be the thing that provides us with some security about our identity, separating ourselves from others, while also being the barrier that prevents us from developing new capacities or trying on new identities. As Gandhi once said, No single culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive. Thank you.